Have you ever had this weird, unsettling feeling that maybe, just maybe, you're not the one calling all the shots in your own life? That some of the choices you make, or the fears that hold you back, aren't actually coming from you? It's a strange thought to have, isn't it?
So that's the big question, right? Are you really in the driver's seat, or is there some hidden force, something behind the scenes, pulling the strings?
You know, the brilliant psychoanalyst Carl Jung absolutely nailed it when he said this. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Think about that. What we call fate or bad luck might just be the parts of ourselves we've refused to look at. So let's dive in and take a look.
All right, first up, let's talk about the mystery of it all. Why we sometimes do things that make absolutely no sense, even to us. This is our first clue that the shadow is at play.
I mean, come on, you've been there, right? You snap at someone you love and immediately think, where did that come from? Or maybe you're on the verge of a huge success and you find yourself doing something to mess it all up for no logical reason. These aren't just random glitches in the system. They are signals from a much deeper part of you.
Okay, so what is this hidden force we keep talking about? Let's pull back the curtain and actually define what the shadow is.
Put simply, your shadow is like a psychological bag you've been carrying your whole life. And into that bag, you've stuffed all the parts of yourself you were taught were bad or unacceptable. Your anger, your jealousy, your raw ambition, your deepest fears, anything you learned to hide to fit in.
The iceberg analogy is honestly the perfect way to picture this. The little tip of the iceberg that's sticking out of the water, that's your conscious mind. It's the you that you show to the world. But that enormous, massive chunk of ice hidden under the surface, that's your unconscious. That's where the shadow lives. And here's the thing about icebergs. It's the part you can't see that's the most powerful and the most dangerous.
And this all starts so early, when we're just kids. We hear it from everyone. Don't be so selfish. Nice girls don't get angry. Big boys don't cry. So, to get love and approval, we learn to chop off these natural parts of ourselves and shove them down into the darkness. But they don't go away, they just wait.
So how do you know if this hidden part of you is actually running the show? What are the telltale signs, the red flags, that your shadow is in control?
Well, it usually comes down to 3 classic signs. First, there's projection. That's when you get super annoyed by a trait in someone else because it's secretly a trait you've buried in yourself. Second, self-sabotage, unconsciously tripping yourself up right at the finish line. And third, those uncontrollable reactions, the sudden emotional explosions that seem to come out of absolutely nowhere.
Let's make this more concrete. Picture a guy named Michael. We all know a Michael. He's the ultimate nice guy. He's always agreeable, never makes waves, and would rather die than get into a conflict. But underneath that calm, polite surface, years and years of frustration and resentment are just simmering away.
Then one day at work, his boss unfairly chews him out for something that wasn't his fault. And boom, the dam breaks. Michael just explodes. Years of suppressed anger come roaring out. He's yelling, he's furious, and everyone in the office is just staring, completely stunned. But you know who's the most shocked person in the room? Michael himself.
And in the dead silence after his outburst, his boss just looks at him and asks, "Where did that come from?" And that question is everything, because the answer is, it came from his shadow. It was there all along, just waiting for a crack to get out.
But here is the most important part of this whole thing. You are not helpless. Michael's blow-up was a wake-up call, and there is a process for dealing with this. It's called shadow work, and it's all about turning this hidden, destructive force into one of your greatest strengths.
Now, let's be super clear about what shadow work is and what it is not. It is not about destroying or getting rid of the bad parts of you. You can't, anyway. Trying to fight your shadow is like trying to fight your own shadow on the sidewalk. It just makes it stronger. This is about understanding, accepting, and integrating those parts so that you, not them, are in control.
The whole process can really be broken down into 3 key steps. Number 1, identify your triggers. Number 2, face the darkness. And number 3, integrate your shadow. Let's walk through each one really quick.
Okay, step 1 is all about becoming a detective of your own emotions. Pay really close attention to what drives you crazy in other people. That arrogant guy at work, that person you think is lazy, those intense, over-the-top reactions are like big, flashing arrows pointing directly at a quality you've denied in yourself. Step 2 is when you get brave and actually face what you find.
A fantastic tool for this is something called shadow journaling. You just get a notebook, find a private space, and write down the ugly stuff, the raw, unfiltered thoughts you'd never say out loud. The jealousy, the rage, the pettiness, you let it all out on the page with zero judgment.
And this leads to the final game-changing step, integration. Once you've seen these hidden parts of yourself, you stop fighting them. You acknowledge them. You can literally say to yourself, okay, anger, I see you, I get why you're here, and I accept you. But I am the one in charge, not you. That simple act completely changes the power dynamic. It puts you back in the driver's seat.
And this brings us to what is, I think, the most empowering idea of all. Your darkness, your shadow, isn't something to be ashamed of or destroyed. It's actually a source of incredible energy and power. You are not just your light, you are the whole thing.
So let's go back to that quote one last time. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. It hits different now, doesn't it? Fate is just what happens when you let the unconscious run the show. Taking control is what happens when you decide to turn on the lights.
So in the end, it really comes down to a choice. You can keep letting your shadow yank your strings from the darkness and keep calling the results bad luck or fate. Or you can turn around, face it, and integrate it to become a more whole, more authentic, and frankly more powerful version of yourself.
So, I'll just leave you with this one final question to really think about. After all of this, what is your shadow trying to tell you? The answer to that question just might change everything.